I'm going to try to intentionally soak them through here, maybe in the hopes that that will loosen up the upper a bit. Maybe this run or maybe future runs. We'll see. Well, we'll definitely be able to get a gauge on drainability of that sidewall bathtub midsole construction after this. Giving the NNormal Kboix another shot here. I think I got a handle on the heel lockdown with a little bit of a lock lacing variation for that sidewall rubbing issue. Put on a pair of Sidus socks here, dual layer, so just trying to reduce a little bit of friction there in that point that I can still feel right now front inside of my arch along the edge. I am moving along at a somewhat decent clip here, around 8 minutes per mile, but I would say it doesn't really feel too smooth. The effort kind of feels high. The shoe feels a little sluggish. I feel like I'm kind of maybe working a touch more than I would to keep up that still somewhat decent pace. A bit interesting there how the water was kind of oozing out of that upper. I don't think the upper material itself is going to be a problem. As far as drainability, really might just be those sidewalls holding the water kind of in your sock. Felt kind of okay there coming down that little section as I did kind of bank into that curve at the bottom. Did notice my foot sliding, shoe kind of barely holding on there. Stop off for a quick look here. Did do some lock lacing here, and that pretty much solves the heel thing for me. Heel was very loose when I tried it on, and first running, that seems to work. You could see the tongue padding comes above this, even with the lace lock here. So they have good height right here, so that's good. The sizing is just, I think it's just tricky due to the nature of the midsole being separate in there. Full thumbs at US 9.5, true to size for me, but like especially right here, like where this seam is, the seam doesn't bother me. It just feels like it's tight over the top of my foot, low volume. Definitely go true to size at most in these, maybe even go down half a size, and hope that the volume is not too tight over the top of your foot. It just feels like I'm really getting, low volume across here, and I think they probably did that intentionally because you cannot have this midsole sliding around inside the shoe due to the fact that it's totally separate and not connected to anything. So I do have a feeling they just kind of said, all right, well, we got to strap this down pretty tight over here. And that's the kind of sizing that you get. The rubbing that I was getting is under here. I think it's the sidewall of the midsole. Same thing over here. These Sidus socks have a dual layer here. So, they should kind of glide against each other. And I think it does help. Actually, going through that water seemed to help a little bit. And like I said, hopefully the water may long-term loosen up the material a little bit so I feel more comfortable in the forefoot. I don't think that's going to help kind of agility in the shoe though. When I came down that one section, it definitely, these are wide. You can see they're wide but shallow. It's kind of an odd thing. So this is my first time taking them out off the shelf. Probably a week or so since I got that irritation from the sidewalls. Need to let that kind of heal up a little. Feels better, yeah. Especially going through that water. Maybe that helps. I was considering kind of lubing up my foot in that area, but I figured I would try the socks first. And That seems to have helped a little bit. This is going to be an hour plus, and I definitely didn't last that long last time. I said before I was running a decent clip. It was a slight uphill, so I'm at 7:45 now, coming back the other way. Slight downhill, so it's not like I'm running very slow in these. They just like, the feel of them is sluggish. It doesn't feel like a quick shoe off the ground. Even though I do have that Kboix midsole in there right now, doesn't feel too. Kboix is bounce. Oh, I can't get this right. So the review and kind of analysis on this one is probably going to be a bit of a longer term project. I took the camera today just because I was going to grab a few pictures, but they're feeling better than last time. So figured I'd talk a little bit. I mentioned some probably more negative aspects in my Q&A, so I didn't want to give off the impression that they totally don't work for me and I was completely shelving them. Definitely wanted to just start filming a little bit here, give an update that, yeah, I am working on them, but I have a feeling it will maybe perhaps take a little bit longer, break them in, feel them out a bit more than most shoes. Got my La Sportiva Ethereal Pro waterproof in that back pocket of my Instinct vest right here. Looking like I might need it. Can't do this on the run here because can't hold the camera. This should be a pretty easy operation to pull a windproof or waterproof out of there. Size medium here over the vest. Yeah, nice fit. The rubbing around that sidewall area has definitely improved since going through that water. Getting a bit less friction for sure. Don't really notice it at all now. I wonder if it'll kind of stay that way after they dry out. No water, no pools of water or anything. Pretty good. A bit rubbery on the bottom, that's a little wet, but I don't think that's unexpected at all. Not really holding much. The tongue, maybe a little bit, but doing pretty well. Better than these kind of bathtubs, double bathtubs would have suggested.